watching Tim's Tiny Arcade, mother effer.
Welcome to Tim's Tiny Arcade, guys. This is part 3 of the series I've been doing where I was at Corgs and we had David Crane, Gary Kitchen, Brian Colin, and Warren Davis all talking. A wonderful program that they put on with the panel. And this is part 3. If you haven't seen the other 2, I will put a link in the comments. And anyway, today's question is basically what is going on with them right now currently, video game wise. And so guys, let's jump into it, and thank you for watching today's video, and enjoy, guys.
Next question. 1 hour thing? Yeah, I guess so.
Afternoon, guys. First, thank you for all the work you've done over the years. From an engineering perspective, back then it was never done before, so just as a thing as an engineering student in college and watched it amazing at what was done. So thank you for all that work. My question is, could you discuss what you're currently working on, and then what you think future-wise the industry is headed? So I'd love to hear from your feedback and your questions. Mr. Davis.
You're welcome. First, thank you for saying that. That was a very lovely thing to say. But right now, I've actually been working with Sony for the last few years on some trophy engineering for older games, which is kind of interesting. They emulate some of the older systems on the PS4 and the PS5, so you can actually play, PS1 games, PSP games, and they have a trophy system. So I've been doing some trophy engineering as well as some other stuff for Sony. I also have lately been working on a book. I actually, a couple of years ago, wrote a memoir about my video game days. I had been going to these shows. I've been going to these shows now for, like 15 years or so. And I've been constantly asked questions. I tell stories. And I started to realize how many stories there were. And I just thought, wow, somebody said to me, you should collect those in a book. And I thought, okay, and maybe like 5 years later, I thought about doing that. So it was a slow process. I self-published it a couple of years ago, and really started to release it just as the pandemic hit. And I had a whole line of appearances where I was going to bring the book in 2020. Of course, they all got canceled. This was one of them, in fact. So during 2020, being quite bored and sitting around doing nothing for a lot of the time, I contacted some publishers, and actually, to my surprise, I found a real publisher who wanted to publish the book. So we struck a deal. I could no longer sell my self-published version. We reworked a little bit of it, some minor editing, new title, new cover, and it was supposed to be here at this show today. But it is delayed because of COVID. Everything's been delayed. So, but that was something I've been working on and continuing to work on. It is available on Amazon for pre-sale, and hopefully you will see it soon. So, it's called Creating Q*bert and Other Classic Arcade Games. And if I had my way, it wouldn't be such an on-the-money title. The original title that my self-published version was called You Can't Call It Blah Blah Blah, the Cartoon Balloon. It was the unpronounceable title. And of course the joke is that the story was Howie Rubin of Gottlieb back in the day wanted to call Q*bert the Swear Balloon. And we all said, how can you call it that? You can't call it that, it's unpronounceable. So anyway, that's what I called my self-published book. But the new publisher was like, nah, let's do something a little more on the money. But anyway, that's what I've been working on.
Second part of your question first, I'm not going to answer it. I predicted, beta over VHS, and internet's a fad, and I'm rock solid with getting it wrong. So I don't know what's happening in the future. I'm a day-to-day, seat-of-the-pants kind of guy. What I've been working on, I've worked on everything over the past years. But as it happens, our first game as Game Refuge, when we left Midway and for EA, was General Chaos, and it was a big hit for them. And I've been trying ever since home systems and PCs have gotten better and better and better. I've been wanting to do that game. I've been dancing with publishers here the last couple of years. Tried to do a Kickstarter and then got cancer, which kind of derailed everything. But I'm pleased to say that I hired a young, bright business guy, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm not much of a business guy. This year we're funded. General Chaos 2, Major Snafu, is going to be out next year. We've got the development funded. We're going to probably self-publish. He's working on that side for us there. So General Chaos 2 is coming. Also, sooner than that, next month, a new arcade game we did for a group down in Florida, an arcade group. It's a custom arcade game, will be released, I think, around the 20th of November. It's for Arcade Monsters. They're a chain of arcades down there in Florida. They're doing fantastic. And we're doing a very, very different kind of fighting game for them. And that'll be out in a month, and you guys will see it on Facebook, and then I don't know where they're going from there, but those are out in a month. So I'm passing this along.
So as some of you already know, Gary and I are not talking about the future. We're back 40 years in the past. You know, Gary mentioned it, or one of us mentioned it right at the onset, but you know, we've got so many times we've been asked to do an original 2600 game, and we tell you shamelessly that it was our favorite console to work on. It was the hardest engineering task, you know, known to man, to make something pretty on that screen. So we loved doing it. And started 3 years ago. I did the 3D model for a shell, cartridge shell. I did a circuit board, wrote a bunch of software, including the QR code stuff that we have going. And then Gary and I worked on this original title, Circus Convoy. And you know, we kept working on it until it had enough in it so that we could really, truly say it's the best thing we've ever done. And it is. So if you don't have it, we're actually selling the show special for it over here. So yeah, we don't worry about the future, we're in the past.
And that's under our new company, Audacity Games. And I'll step a little into the future. Dave is working on another game for Audacity Games. We will not put a date on it. We will not give an estimated shipping date. We will tell you about it when it's done. Because in the old days, you had this pressure of get it done for Christmas or holidays or whatever, or the movie or the TV show. And we really enjoyed working on Circus Convoy because there was nobody there to tell us that it had to be done. And it was done when we thought it was done. And we're going to do that on all the Audacity Games titles. That is the new answer on Casey's Gold, because Dan Kitchen is also involved in Audacity. It'll be done when it's done, and we'll let you know. But there's no estimated shipping date on that. And I also am working on a game, which I've put a couple of months into and am very pleased with, but I got detoured off it to do some work that keeps the lights on, and at some point I will get back to it. And so we hope next year we'll be shipping possibly 3 titles on Audacity. We're hoping next year. It could be December 31st, 2022, that one of them will ship, but something will likely ship next year, we think.
We're at an hour. Thank you all for putting up with our ramble. Thank you.